Doesn't say we're live. Oh, now it says we're live. We're live for the pre-show of the Travis DuFour show.
Do you smell what DuFour is cooking?
It's actually pretty good. It's convincing. It's a convincing rock.
Can you get the one eyebrow up? You can.
Both eyebrows want to go up. Oh, there we go.
Nah, you get that fucking other eyebrow down.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah, the next time you're out with like some friends and stuff, just walk up and be like, guys, look, it's the Rock's eyebrow, and go. There you go.
Doing my best. We were just talking about coffee.
Yes, we were.
All the coffees. Americano is for bitches, it sounds like.
Yeah, guys, in the chat, because I know that we are loaded. We've only been live a minute, but we have a full chat here.
And guys, I just want to let you know I do have the chat logs right here.
So wow, you actually printed?
Yeah, I have the chat logs right here. So take a seat. Why don't you take a seat, Travis?
Nice. Now
I want to put my blank in your blank. What did you mean by that?
The DVD into the PS4 to watch Star Wars 5.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. I figured that's what you meant.
I'm just sharing it on Facebook real quick. We like to go live, then share it.
Yep, we're just goofing around for our pre-show. The real show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Now the show doesn't start until 7. The what?
She is interrupting. What is going on?
Here you go.
Damn it.
Mike is really upset now. Thanks a lot.
I'm so sorry.
You just ruined the vibe.
We were on a rhythm here with the pre-show, and you fucked it all up.
I don't even remember what I was talking about.
I thought it started at 7.
Mike, can we just end the broadcast, restart it?
Yeah. We'll just end it here, and we'll just we should just cut it off for the week. It's already done.
All right. Love you. Goodbye. Yeah, that was the secretary. She just was coming in, making sure I had my coffee, and I do.
I'm just going to hang up on myself. Goodbye. Good morning, pumpkin. Good morning.
It is fall.
It is fall. I got my non-holiday specific mug filled with agua.
Where did you get that fucking ugly mug?
Dude, this is not ugly. First of all, it has a handle. Why wouldn't you want to have a fucking handle on your giant ass mug? But listen, this is insulated, so it keeps your drink cold for 36 hours or hot for 24.
You have a really awkward looking handle though. Like this is your standard handle, and yours is that can slip right out of your hands.
Even comes with a bendy straw. No, it comes with a regular straw. A little throwback to the BM days.
I like the swirl straw. You don't got none of that?
Nope, none of that. But it's got it's nice. Gotta get my water, gotta up my water intake, so it helps with that.
And talking about water and coffee, would you like to try an Americano, water and espresso? Would you like that?
Well, isn't all coffee made with water to begin with? But it just sounds like this is made with a lot more water.
I mean, this is straight water.
Now, espresso is supposedly stronger. Like that's a strong shot of coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do a shot of espresso, that's a pretty caffeinated shot.
Straight to the head.
Yeah. I want to take it straight to the veins. Eat daddy.
Fucking it.
I feel it in my veins.
Inject it.
Be a man, Hulk.
I'm honestly surprised that we haven't thought about some kind of coffee injection.
Yeah, we definitely should get on that.
It's like we're supposed to be living in the future here.
You like it though? You like making coffee?
Yeah, working at a coffee shop. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, you're your own boss. You know.
Do you get a lot of nagging customers? Like customers that just piss you off?
They don't do it to me because I'm an older guy.
Oh, they like to pick on the kids.
And also, I am a ginger, and a lot of people have this perception that you don't want to come at a ginger aggressively.
Yeah, it's ill-advised.
And I don't know why, because I'm very approachable.
Can you add ginger to coffee? Is that a thing, or is it just like cinnamon? Is there ginger at your store?
There's no ginger ingredients. You know, we've got the caramel and the mocha. No
And
ginger.
the mocha. I like a good mocha. A cappuccino too. What's a cappuccino exactly? It's got a lot of milk in it.
Yeah, that is frothed up hot milk.
Have you tried any of these beverages?
Like you said a couple minutes ago, I like my coffee black. I don't like any sugar, cream, nothing. Just give me the fucking coffee.
Yeah, same. My fiance hates that. She can't even fathom how I could just like black coffee. She's got to douse it with a cup of sugar and 2 quarts of milk. That's not even coffee at that point.
I'll give you my fiance's order. She likes a large French vanilla swirl, iced coffee with cream and sugar.
That sounds very high maintenance.
More ingredients? That's too fucking much.
That is too much.
But French vanilla, man. Do you like French vanilla?
Coffee. I like a dark roast, just a really bold, heavy, strong flavored coffee.
You a tea guy? You like to order tea at the coffee
I do
shop?
actually like tea every now and again. Peppermint tea is my favorite. But they don't usually have peppermint tea at the coffee shops, at the tea shops. But I make that a lot at home. And yeah, it's good to drink. And I drink that straight as well. I know a lot of people like to add milk and stuff. Oh, you know what I do like from Starbucks, though, is that iced chai tea latte. It's like tea with milk and cinnamon powder and whipped cream.
You like chai?
Yeah, I like chai. And then they like mix it all. Well, I mix it together so that the whipped cream gets blended in the drink. And then, it's heaven.
I tried chai the other. Nah, dude, I tried chai. That shit's disgusting.
It's not disgusting. Really? Have you ever tried a iced chai tea latte, though?
Yeah. From my understanding, that was the only way to make a chai, anything as a chai latte.
I don't fucking know. You could put chai in anything. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm thinking of chia seeds. I'm getting fucking chai and chia seeds mixed up.
We do have some people showing up on the stream. Let us know before we start the show. How do you like your coffee? What do you like?
Shaken, not stirred. Yeah, we got 4 minutes left of the show. So actually, I would like to pick your brain about some wrestling for a minute, if you can.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you catch that Tony Khan interview with Ariel Helwani? Is that his name? Did you watched it?
God, that shit was rough, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, very rough. It was. He gave pretty much nothing. I mean, I felt like I wasted my time watching that interview.
I do like how Ariel Helwani, he started the interview with, he was like, I never thought that you liked me, and Tony's like, what nonsense?
Oh,
you're a great guy.
I love you.
We got Billy Showalter Jr., not senior today. We have the junior in the chat today.
Well, welcome aboard, sir.
Yes, thank you so much for coming.
But what do you make of this? Tony Khan basically saying, I can't answer that. He couldn't answer shit. All he did was promote his show, which, okay, that's what he's there for. He's there to promote his shows. But usually when you do an interview, you got to give the fans something to leave happy with. Like, you got to make the crowd happy. Isn't that the case or no?
Yeah, well, I mean,
give him a little nibble, just a little nibble.
Come on, Tony, let's get a little nibble going. To be fair, they are apparently wrapped up in like a legal situation, and if we know, we know CM Punk, he likes a good.
He's very litigious. Oh yeah, he likes a good old fashioned lawsuit. But okay, fair enough. You can't talk about that. You could say, hey. I feel like he could have worded that a different way. Like, hey, that's a legal situation. I can't comment. I appreciate you asking. But when Ariel actually got to the point where he asked him, okay, I understand you can't talk about that stuff specifically. He's like, but can you at least tell us like how you felt around that time? I felt like he could have given something like, to be honest, it caught me by surprise a little bit. And, we are handling it. It's an ongoing situation and maybe more will come out at a later time. I feel like that's giving people more than what he said, even though that's not saying very much. I think just shut him down completely. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And this is one of the big things. Like, we're seeing the big differences between Tony Khan and Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon would have fucking went head on and with all.
Oh yeah, he's like, fuck that motherfucker. He's done. Black, he'll never work here again. Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah, Punk screwed Kenny's. Kenny saved CM Punk's dog. So
yeah,
there's a lot
allegedly. Like,
yeah.
I just think that that's such a wholesome story. There's just this crazy fight. Ace Steel's in the back throwing steel chairs at people, and then you got Kenny Omega. It's like, oh my god, the dog. And then CM Punk thinking that he's like stealing the dog to hurt him. He's like, fuck you, punches Kenny right in the face, accidentally misses, punches his own dog in the face. I want to know the details of this whole thing.
This is like the perfect Will Ferrell type scene.
I just wish their television was as interesting as their backstage drama.
All day. Couldn't agree more. And I've been watching. One of the things that caught my eye was Paige coming in. And then I guess last week it was her segment was like really bad. And Britt Baker came out and fucking just cut a great promo against Paige. And Paige seemed like she hadn't prepared for the promo at all.
Yeah, she seemed very unprepared. She seemed nervous. Well, she admitted she was nervous, but I don't know. What does Paige have to offer AEW? And I'm not saying it's nothing, but I'm asking you, what do you think Paige has to offer?
This could be treated as a huge deal. I mean, Paige, The Rock made a movie about her and her family. I mean, she was a big star for the WWE. One of the top females in the last 10 years, in my opinion.
No, I can agree.
Having her as a game changer. And I mean, but we've seen what he did with Daniel Bryan. We've seen what, we've seen this happen before.
He's dropped the ball with Daniel Bryan. There was at least 2 times, if not more, where he should have pulled the trigger on the title for Daniel Bryan.
Mark my words, before in the next calendar year, the next 365 days, Paige will have more matches on Dark and Rampage than she will on Dynamite.
So you think she will absolutely wrestle a match, wrestle multiple matches?
Yeah, I think that this is the return. I think that this is the comeback story.
Yeah. Do you think she can stay healthy?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I guess it is that time, though. We're actually a little over time. We should probably start the actual show. What do you say?
I couldn't agree more, Mike. Go ahead and run that intro. Welcome in, one and all. This is Travis DuFour. You are watching the Travis DuFour Show, episode 4. As we all know, I love to do 4. So this is a special episode for me. We are continuing the Star Wars chronicling. We're talking about all of them. Never seen any of them. Today's episode will be on Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. And now let me welcome to the show my co-host, Mike Yatsco.
Dig it, Daddy.
It's back.
It's back, Daddy.
I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah.
And man, it's just this has been a fun little journey, man. Whenever you brought the idea for me to watch Star Wars, knowing my whole history of being a kid, just rebelling against Star Wars, not wanting to watch it, going out of my way not to watch it, and finally watching the first movie, as we heard 2 episodes ago, and I enjoyed it so much that we continued, and here we are. We're going to do Empire Strikes Back.
I'm excited, man. We got some people in the chat saying we got Darth Maul himself coming to visit. You haven't seen that movie yet, but Darth Maul is coming up in a later movie, one of the prequels. I'm surprised Darth Maul, he got sliced in half. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
whoa!
I'm
just kidding. He didn't really that didn't really happen.
Come the fuck on, Mike.
I'm just saying.
Anybody new to the show, guys? Mike was the one who convinced me to watch these movies for the first time. I've only seen 2 Star Wars movies. That is the very first one ever made, and that's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that's hard to believe that anybody could go that many years of their life and not watch the Star Wars movie. At least the original trilogy. I could understand to be like, no, I tapped out of the prequels. No, I tapped out of the sequels, but you didn't even watch the original trilogy. That takes dedication.
I mean, Oh God. And like you said on the last episode, it's like, how have I been able to avoid it? It's just so popular. There's so much merch. It's everywhere. I mean, and I know a little bit like Darth Maul. It's hard to avoid some of these like big characters. Of course, I've heard the name Darth Maul. I don't know what he does in the story. I don't know who he's connected to. I assume he's a bad guy. He looks like a bad motherfucker, but
I won't tell you what happens with Darth Maul or how he fits into the story. I will just say Darth Maul is a badass character.
will you tell me this, Mike? How many Darths are there?
There's actually quite a bit. You got Darth Sidious, which you've seen in The Empire Strikes Back now. He's
Okay.
he's Emperor Palpatine. Darth Vader, Darth Maul. There's several others I'm forgetting. Darth Plagueis.
So is Darth a like a common name in the universe?
Yeah, I forget what it actually means in Star Wars lore. If someone in the chat wants to chime in, but yeah, it's often used with Sith characters or evil characters.
Is it kind of like the name John, or
I think it's like a title. I could be wrong, but I thought it was a title of some kind. Why else would so many characters have Darth in it? Why are they just naming them up? What are we gonna name this guy? Well, how about Darth? Well, what's what we named the last guy? I mean,
yeah. How many fucking Lukes do we need?
So it must be a title thing.
Very interesting. So where do you want to start off here with Empire Strikes Back?
So we'll start from the beginning. First, I want to say your overall thoughts on, without giving away too much, overall thoughts on this movie. You still digging the franchise so far? You still, because last week or a couple weeks ago, you said you were actually enjoyed the first movie very much. Yeah, Darth Maul says it's mostly for Sith Lords.
Okay, interesting, very interesting.
But yeah, you said you were enjoying it. So how about this? Are you still on that train?
Yeah. If you listen to the previous episode, I thought that the very first film was whenever Darth says, "Luke, I am your father." But it happens in this movie, and that was a cool fucking moment.
So you were disappointed you didn't see that the first time. You felt like you got cheated.
Well, I was kind of like making predictions the first movie I saw, and I didn't make any predictions on this one. I didn't know if Yoda was going to be in it, which, he is. I got introduced to Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. I'm very, very happy with the whole film. And also knowing the backstory of, they didn't know if the first movie was going to make any money, so they didn't know if they were going to make more movies, and then it did. So then they signed on for 2 more movies. So the fact that there's so many things that they're hinting in the next part of the story, and there's a lot of cliffhangers, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And some people actually say that Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie. So I'm curious to see if you have that opinion once it's all said and done and you've watched them all.
No, I'll tell you now. It's fucking better than the first one.
Yeah, it is better than the first one. Okay, so I'm going to start off from the beginning, kind of give a brief little summary, and we'll kind of do this at different points throughout the story. That way we have some concept of where we're at. I can get your opinion on what you thought of that particular scene or that section of the movie. The very beginning, from Luke's point of view, an Imperial probe droid lands on Hoth. Luke is attacked by a Wampa before he can investigate. After Luke escapes the Wampa, Obi-Wan's spirit appears to Luke in a snowstorm, instructing him to go to Dagobah and train with Master Yoda to become a Jedi Knight like his father before him. A lot to unpack just there. What was your thought of the Wampa and Luke's run-in with this Wampa?
Yeah, no, that was phenomenal. Starting off the movie with some action right out the gate, and they're already starting off with like a different vibe with Luke Skywalker. You can kind of tell that he's a little weathered. And he passes out in the snow, right? Like
You want to hear an interesting fact about why he looks the way he does, and why they chose to go maybe this route in the story is Luke. I don't know if it was a car accident or a motorcycle accident, but the real actor Mark Hamill had just been involved recently in a pretty bad accident, and so his face was left scarred, and so a lot of what you see is actually not makeup. In fact, it's what was a result of that accident.
Wow. Okay. I feel like so after I watched the movie, I didn't do this for the first one. After I watched the movie, I kind of went on YouTube and indulged in multiple different kind of searches and stuff like that to find out like Easter eggs and stuff like that. And I saw that. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was it? I think I read something about he broke his nose.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I know he broke his. Might have broke his nose. Definitely scuffed up his face and left some scars. So, but that's why he ends up looking a little different at the very beginning of this movie.
A little weathered.
A little weathered, as you said, exactly. But then we have Obi-Wan appearing to Luke. Well, you really liked Obi-Wan in the last movie.
Man, he was the one who really put over the first movie for me. The way that his character was written and everything, and how much of a badass, you could tell, older guy, but they told that story of back in his day, he was the guy, he was the dude. So seeing them keep him around, even if it's just voiceovers. Well, later on in the film, he actually shows up and talks to Yoda for a moment. But I'm just so happy that they put a lot of time into Obi-Wan Kenobi's character. It's a good character.
And did you hear Emperor at the very beginning, Emperor Palpatine? We got the introduction of him. He wasn't in the... See, I remembered him being in the first movie, and he absolutely was not. He was not introduced until Empire. What was your thoughts when he was having the interaction with Darth Vader and you saw him for the first time?
Well, I guess it was a little foolish on my part because I thought that Darth Vader was end all be all top fucking guy. But then I was like, so another well done character. I like the mystique about him. Did you ever watch Power Rangers?
Oh yeah, of course, all the time.
He kind of reminded me of like, the Power Rangers leader, Zordon.
The Zordon guy appearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's but in the beginning he says the son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi. So but at the beginning, well, I guess you knew because of all the rumors, and of course you can't ignore it. Like even if you don't watch Star Wars all your life, you can't ignore what happened. So you went into this movie knowing Darth Vader was Luke's father, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that wasn't. I kind of wish you didn't know that because that what a cool surprise that would be, not knowing and then like what like that for the first time. Could you imagine people in the cinemas when they were watching that for the first time and learning about that?
Well, one of the cool things is that like if you do go on YouTube, you can look up kids react to that. Like kids who didn't know, and seeing some of the kids react to Luke finding that out. And I mean, that's a history making cinema moment right there.
And I just want to take a moment to just shout out Darth Vader himself chiming in here in the chat. Like we have all the Sith Lords just coming together tonight.
I'm just so nervous. Darth, just if I could speak to you one-on-one, man, you're a great character.
Darth Vader's the best. I mean, I love Darth Maul too, but Darth Vader's awesome. And Emperor Palpatine. I actually have Emperor Palpatine's lightsaber, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, he says the son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi. At this point, we don't know in the story that he is, in fact, Darth Vader's son. Then we switch over to Han and Leia's point of view, where Han wants to leave Leia and pay back Jabba the Hutt. But he goes to save Luke from the snowstorm instead, and also encounters the probe droid, which has discovered the hidden rebel base, and it reported it back to the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, and you were very shocked to hear that Han Solo was my favorite character from the first movie.
Yeah, because he was my least favorite. For whatever, and I'm not saying he's a bad character. I just, for whatever reason, I gravitated to him less.
But look at him here, man. He's taking the bulls by the horns. He's like, I gotta save my friend Luke. They have that like brotherly deal in the first movie, but it's just solidified more to me that Han Solo is another stand-up character. He's fucking funny.
Yeah, he's funny. And what do you think of him and Leia together at this stage of the movie?
Now is Leia so Leia is starting to give in to him. Am I correct about that? Is that right out the gate?
Way.
Yeah.
It does seem that way, yeah.
Yeah, I think that he kind of comes across as this guy who just takes extra jobs for money and stuff, and she's like royalty, so it's kind of like royalty dating a scumbag, but she's the kind of chick that kind of likes the danger, you know what I mean? So I think that's what gravitates her to Han, because
she likes he's a bad boy.
Yes,
chicks dig bad boys. I don't know what it is about them, but they do.
Even in the early 80s, whenever they filmed this, they were like, she likes that he's an asshole. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It just makes her like him more. But so anyway, the probe reports back to the Empire. The Empire knows where the rebel base is and attacks.
So yeah, right. How did they find out where the rebel base is?
That probe droid.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and it forces all the heroes to flee, and Luke ends up going to Dagobah shortly after, and that's when he meets Jedi Master Luke. I'm sorry, Jedi Master Yoda. Luke doesn't meet Luke. Luke meets Yoda.
So here comes Han Solo for the save, but we all know that Luke is trying to stay on his path of becoming a Jedi. And now who tipped him off that it's Yoda?
Wasn't it it was Obi-Wan.
Right. So boom, we're off to the races with that. I'm just I feel like this is unprofessional, but I have to pull up the characters from Empire Strikes Back just as a reference.
Well, there's a lot of them in this movie. But so Luke ends up going to Dagobah, meets Jedi Master Yoda, which we'll touch on in a second. I want to hear your thoughts on Yoda. And at the same time, Darth Vader is actually focusing his fleet on capturing Han and Leia as they flee together in the Millennium Falcon. So let's just talk about Yoda at this point. You finally got to see Yoda. You wanted to see him in the first movie. He's finally here now. What are your thoughts on this old creature?
Fucking hated him.
Seriously?
Yeah, right out the gate.
Master fucking Yoda. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Hey. I think that Yoda is a character that is really marketed towards children. I think that, he was like saying a bunch of weird shit right out the gate. And it's like Luke was just he's like, where's Yoda? And he's like, oh, you will find him soon. And
that's actually a solid impression. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. And I've never practiced one before. That was very impromptu. But yeah, and he was a puppet, right? So they didn't have like a midget get into a costume or anything.
And it's not like a spoiler for me to say, but in the prequel movies later that you'll watch, they don't do the puppet anymore. They actually make him completely CGI.
And do you like that?
In my personal, this is a heated topic. In my personal opinion, I like CGI Yoda way better because they don't have the limitations of a puppet. Well, actually, yeah, they don't have those limitations. But there are many people who just swear by the original Yoda, and that's all they will accept.
Now, okay, I'm not going to backpedal completely here. My first impression of Yoda, I did not like him, but as the story continued and seeing him kind of go back and forth with Luke, whenever Luke didn't believe he could use the Force, and then Yoda just fucking uses it to get his ship out of that lake deal. Moments like that.
That's pretty cool, right? Like Luke using the Force and pulling the X-Wing right out of the water.
No, without a doubt. But moments like that, very cool. I liked Yoda for situations like that. But and I feel like Yoda will grow on me. If I ever get to see Yoda actually fucking fight, that'll be great. I don't know if that happens. I hope it does.
I won't say either way.
But I'm trying not to go like jump all over the timeline here, but something happens to Yoda at the end, right? Like, doesn't he like disappear?
Yeah, but before, I kind of wanted. Did you feel like Yoda was a little goofy in any way?
Oh yeah, he was a fucking
Too much
goofball.
too much for me personally. I think that's why I don't gravitate to this Yoda as much, is because he's just more like, and he's even pissing off Luke. Like Luke isn't like Luke isn't tolerating. He's just not, getting hit with the cane or whatever. Like he just not, or the stick or whatever it is.
And he was going back and forth with R2D2. He was banging R2D2 with his stick and stuff, fighting with, and I was just like, man, this is an iconic character, and I'm not feeling it.
So you just felt like the hype for Master Yoda being this wise old Jedi, which is too big at this point. So by the time you saw him, you were let down, basically, in a way.
Well, like I told you, man, I was trying to keep a very open, like an open sight for this whole movie, and I'm not gonna keep shitting on Yoda. He grew on me near the end, but yeah, first impression, didn't like him.
And at this point, then, yeah, so I said Darth Vader is also focusing his fleet on Han and Leia as they are fleeing together and trying to capture them. And Darth Vader communicates with the Emperor Palpatine, who denounces Luke as a new enemy that must be tracked down. And meanwhile, the plot turns for Luke upon his arrival of the desolate swamp planet Dagobah, and for Han and Leia as they enter the dangerous asteroid field.
And now, didn't Darth? He was like, didn't he say something along the lines of he wanted to go get Luke, but the master was like, no, Luke is actually going to come to you.
Yeah,
and Darth was like, oh, he is. He seems surprised by that.
And I don't did Luke see a vision of Vader or no?
Yes. So, so they are in like that swampy area. I think he had already met Yoda at this point, and he had like a delusion, like a vision that he fucking fought Darth Vader. He has this fight with Darth Vader. He cuts off the head of Darth Vader, and then the mask comes open. It's actually himself.
Yeah. What do you think the movie was saying there by showing that? What do you think it was communicating exactly? Like, but why did Luke see himself?
I think that it was straight up telling Luke, you have options. You could be just like Darth if you wanted to.
Yeah, and it only takes a series of bad decisions to turn to the dark side.
And I've always been a big fan of the bad guy. I kind of wish Luke would have went to the dark side at that point.
I think I feel that way about all characters. I'm just like, come on, just turn to the dark side. You know you want to do it. Because it's just dark side characters are fun. Like, I feel like it's way more fun to be a bad guy. Kind of same thing as wrestling, right? It's more fun to be the bad guy.
Yeah, if Luke could have joined the NWO at that point and then had Han Solo just fucking as just a human being without any powers, just a gun, end up beating the dark side and beating the Force and stuff like that. I think that would have been an interesting story in its own right.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways they could have gone, and I mean, I would have preferred that route myself. But you gotta have good versus evil. But if all the good turns to evil, then you just got evil. If evil has nobody to face.
And let's be totally fair, Luke Skywalker is pretty much like the perfect baby face.
Yeah. No, he is, but we also don't know what the future holds either. There's always Return of the Jedi.
So does he fucking go to the dark side? In that
I'm
movie?
not saying anything. I'm just saying I'm trying to build up the suspense for you that we don't know what happens. Well, I know what happens. You don't.
Well, I'm just gonna have to watch it, aren't I?
I'm just saying. Well, that is the whole point of the show. So I hope you do watch it. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do you think of? I want to go back to Emperor Palpatine for a minute and the design of his character. First of all, where did you watch this movie?
In my living room.
I'm saying, like, was it like on Disney Plus? What was it?
Yeah, so from my understanding, there are differences between the Disney Plus version and then the VHS version that you could have had as a
Oh
child.
wow, Jesus, you really did take a deep dive down the rabbit hole.
I did.
Yeah, because
Hey,
I was going to ask which emperor you saw. Was it the original emperor that looks, way different than the modern emperor?
that I don't know.
Because in the original VHS, and theatrical release, way back when, it was a different actor entirely who played the emperor. But then in Return of the Jedi, there was a new actor, Ian McDiarmid, and he played Emperor Palpatine in all the movies that he was in.
Why did they do the switch?
I don't know what ever happened with the original actor or why that. I don't know if it was a scheduling issue or some drama or he just didn't want to do it. I don't know what the issue was, but they ended up replacing the original actor when they, remastered the DVDs and stuff like that.
No,
so
I remember now. The original actor was busted drug trafficking ring, Mexico.
Are you just making this up or are you being serious?
I am making
Okay, I hope. I was about to say inside scoop. I never heard that before. That'd be really cool.
Even longtime Star Wars fans are learning something here.
But I prefer the second actor by far, Ian McDiarmid. I thought he just really embodied who Emperor Palpatine is. But what did you think of the overall design of his character? The wrinkles in his face, the hood, the voice.
Like I said, it really, really reminded me a lot of Zordon from Power Rangers.
I can't believe you see Zordon. Hello, Power Rangers.
Now, yeah, I'm glad that you did that voice. Darth Vader's got a very iconic voice. I think that he did too.
Who, Zordon?
No.
Or you mean Palpatine?
Palpatine.
Oh, yes, the Jedi. Luke Skywalker must not become a Jedi.
You're pretty spot on with that.
Dude, I love it. Palpatine's my jam. I love Palpatine. He's probably my second favorite character in all of Star Wars.
One thing I don't like is the name fucking Palpatine.
Oh, what's weird about Palpatine is he has a lot of names and nicknames. Sheev, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. Trying to think if there was another one.
Just to kind of simplify this for me, can we just call him Emperor from now on?
We can call him Emperor, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's the Emperor.
He is. There's not another one. There's only one.
So we discussed how Luke encounters a vision of Darth Vader in a cave on Dagobah where he's training to become a Jedi. His name is Sheev Palpatine. So that's his actual name.
Palpatine. It's just
I wasn't sure if Sheev was a nickname or not. So that's actually his name is Sheev Palpatine and Emperor Palpatine. That makes sense.
And what is your thoughts on Palpatine?
Dude, he's like the embodiment of evil. Like even more so, even way more so than Darth Vader.
Hey, and and it's interesting that you say that because they're rebuilding their ship. It's going to be better than the Death Star. It's going to be bigger, and they actually said Palpatine was overseeing it himself.
Well, I would hope so because whoever oversaw the last Death Star made it so fucking vulnerable that an X-wing could just shoot one little bullet down this shaft and boom, blows it to smithereens. So I hope they fix that little bug.
Little bug.
They just call the guy in. They're like, "You motherfucker."
That's a minor inconvenience.
Sitting this guy down, he was just like, "Did you even think about what could happen?" Well, I just didn't know, boss.
Palpatine must have really big faith in his team if he's just fucking letting them go off and making their own shit. He's like, oh yeah. So does Palpatine, where does Palpatine stay? Does he stay on the Death Star? Does he stay with Darth and all them? Where is he usually?
I don't know where he usually is, at least at this point in the movie, but I will tell you, because I don't believe it's a spoiler, that you will see him. Well, actually, you did see him in the flesh at some point, right? It wasn't just in the projection.
Yeah, I believe near the end, he's walking down a corridor, not a corridor, but there's a big group of the stormtroopers. I mean, he's walking down the center with Darth.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you'll see him more in the flesh, not just the projections. But yeah, dude, Palpatine, Emperor, I'll just say the Emperor. The Emperor is one of the coolest characters on the dark side.
And he's the leader.
Yeah.
Did he create it? Was he a student of Yoda?
Was he? I'm not going to just start telling you shit.
Come on. All right.
There actually is a very deep backstory for Emperor Palpatine, but I don't believe it's it hasn't been told in the movies. But it has been told in books, like Star Wars books that have been written.
I'm sure some fan fiction has dived into it.
Well, no, fan fiction, of course, and but I mean also official books like from Lucasfilm that have been made to outline. I mean, there's so many books, comics, I mean, all kinds of stuff that have been written to describe not just him, but the backstories of all kinds of characters throughout Star Wars.
One thing fan fiction wise I've really dived into deeply is the Halloween series. I like seeing people write Michael Myers into their own stories and stuff like that. Have you ever looked into you yourself? Have you ever looked into any Star Wars fan fiction? Are you that kind of guy?
I have read some comics featuring Star Wars. No novels yet, but I've been interested in it, like reading some of those.
These comics, are they licensed Star Wars?
Oh yeah, they're not fan. Yeah, they're not fan made. I mean, I'm sure there definitely is a lot of fan made stuff out there, but the comics, the books, the novels, a lot of it was considered canon at one point. And I think just in recent years they stopped saying it was like a part of the official story.
Interesting.
Did you see that? Darth Vader has to go help the Emperor now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we've just lost Darth Vader. He is out of the chat.
I need Darth Vader. But yeah, so a lot of those stories actually were canon and like the actual written by the company, the fully licensed and all that. So they're worth exploring for sure. But real quick, you mentioned Halloween, and I just want to mention that tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, thanks to Glenn, he told me, Halloween Ends gets put on Peacock, the Peacock network. So if you have the $4.99 subscription to Peacock, you can watch Halloween Ends at your home.
So for anybody who's listening to the podcast, we are recording this episode on October 13th, 2022. That is exciting.
Yeah, because it's in theaters right now, isn't it? Like I thought.
No.
Halloween Ends?
No. That's
the new one.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out tomorrow.
Really? Well, I don't want to look that up while we're doing a show, but I'll say that's pretty crazy if it hasn't even hit theaters and it's going to be out at home. I mean, fuck, I'll watch it at home tonight.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we could talk Star Wars all day, but Halloween, like Halloween Ends, this is my Super Bowl. This is my big like event.
Oh, so you're really into the movies?
Oh, love it. It's my number one favorite franchise.
Well, do you have Peacock?
I do.
Well, then you'll be able to watch it. Watch it on the cock. Le coq, as they say. I don't know. Nobody says that.
What's the next big Star Wars movie? Are they doing another one?
They aren't. They're doing shows. They're doing a lot of shows. So actually, right now there's a series called Andor, which is don't recommend watching it until you've gotten way caught up. But there's a show called Andor right now. There's the Book of Boba Fett just happened recently. We have the Ahsoka series coming up soon. You'd be like, well, who's Ahsoka? Well, there's a lot you have to see. Oh, there's a fucking bug. A big
I also have a bug in the studio.
It's been flying around my head and it fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Wow. You have less temperament than I do.
Oh yeah. Well, I have been looking at I just been watching it go by like for the last 40 minutes and it finally got to me. Yeah. it finally hit my last nerve. This fucking bug. But yeah, it's I don't even know where I was at that point in the conversation. That's how much the bug tripped me up.
Somebody did mention Jabba the Hutt earlier in the chat here. I do want to say that Jabba the Hutt looked like shit in the first movie. He looks really good in this one.
Yeah, they did much better CGI for Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's like an actual, it's not a costume, but like a thing that they actually made.
Oh, so it's an actual suit? Yeah, I'm used to the CGI Jabba, so I didn't know if
that's just what it looked like to me. It looked really good.
Oh, it very well could have been. Because I know that does anything happen to Jabba in this movie? I forget. I'm not gonna say anything.
I believe I think near the end, because that bounty hunter finally gets Han Solo. So I think that had something to do with Jabba.
Okay. Well, no. I meant, okay. Well, then you didn't say the thing I thought you were going to say. So that must be the next movie. I won't say anything about that. I'm glad I didn't spoil that. That was going to be upsetting for me. All right. So we're going backtracking though. We were talking about how Luke saw Darth Vader, fights him. You know, he has this vision of Vader, ends up beheading him, and sees himself when the mask falls off. And we did talk about that. Kind of symbolize some central things going on in himself, like things that he's fighting with, you know, the light and the dark side. And he also witnesses Yoda's mastery of the Force when Yoda saves his X-Wing from the swamp. So that had been a cool, you know, like you said, that was a cool moment, seeing Yoda use powers of his own and seeing that he wasn't just some crazy old puppet, that he actually had some power behind him. And
he's not being a nonsensical little dipshit. He's actually showing Luke, like, hey, if you listen to me, if you follow my way, you can do this too. And seeing Luke just fucking kind of give up that quick. I mean, I guess it probably takes a lot out of you to use the Force, but
yeah. Well, yeah, it does. It's like, it's kind of like using a muscle. So it's, when you're using the Force, it's like overexerting a muscle, and it takes a lot of energy to do that. And there's actually certain characters in Star Wars, one in particular, where I won't even mention, when they use the Force, it takes so much energy out of them that they actually have to take a nap. They have to fall asleep because it just uses, it's like using a muscle. You just overworked your muscle, and now you have to take a nap.
So whenever Darth is fighting Luke, you know, later on, and Darth uses the Force to throw items at Luke, I guess that's pretty goddamn strenuous.
Well, it is, but Darth Vader is also extremely powerful in the Force. Like, he's experienced, and the character I was mentioning was fairly young, so that's why it was taking so much out of him.
I guess it's kind of like bodybuilding. Luke's been in the gym maybe a week, but
he needs to hit the weights more.
But Darth has been doing squats for years, so he's good.
So at this point, Han and Leia, they give in to their romantic feelings for each other. They discover the Falcon is actually hiding inside an enormous space slug, and are forced to fly out into the open, where they again outmaneuver the Imperial fleet and set a course for Bespin to take shelter with Han's friend Lando. So, a little bit to unpack there. Han and Leia giving into the romance. You were intrigued by this love triangle that was kind of hinted at in the first movie. What do you think about the situation now?
Well, just to make a quick mention, I did think it was very smart, and it caught me off guard that, you know, they were inside of a slug the whole time. You know, but they're hearing the noises outside and everything, and Han Solo's like, fuck it, I'll go check it out. And I don't all of them leave the ship at one point to kind of see what's going on? Even Princess Leia went outside.
Yeah. So the movie didn't actually show them getting swallowed by the slug then? Is that what it was?
No, I don't think so, because that's like the big reveal whenever they finally get out and they see, you know, they're flying the ship and the teeth are closing, and they all kind of make that realization, oh shit, we're actually inside of something.
Giant space slug, yeah.
And they get out at the skin of the teeth, you know, and then, you know, you see the slug come out of the planet there and show his ugly face. I thought that was a very creative way to spin that whole scene. There's not a fucking dull moment in this movie.
Yeah, it kind of bounces around, you know, back-to-back action, which is nice. But what do you think? Yeah, like about this the romance side of it for Han and Leia giving into that love, the little love that's brewing.
I think that Han Solo was ready to fuck. I think.
Yeah. I think. Oh, he was born ready.
I think that Princess Leia was also right on it, and then here comes C-3PO coming in saying some bullshit that neither of them cared about. They were starting to get sweaty. They were starting to get there. And I think Han Solo was like, man, that was like, I could have, started my family just now.
What do you think Luke thinks of this if he knew what was going on between these two?
Well, Luke, obviously he's missing out of,
Oh yeah.
obviously
obviously.
He's just so selfish.
You think he would just look at Han and be like, "You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch."
Good guy, but he's very self-centered, and he's like, I have to fucking do this shit with Yoda. I gotta follow my legacy, make my family proud, and all this. So I'm not, we're gonna have some separation here. Mike,
are you still there?
Yeah,
you froze up on me for a good
you've frozen a
7
couple
seconds.
Times.
Interesting.
Yeah, thanks a lot, StreamYard, you piece of shit.
It's most likely someone's internet connection, either mine or yours.
Yeah, let me actually take myself off of my Wi-Fi. I did that last week, and I did not do it this week. So let me do that now.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, I wish I could show you exactly where you froze at. You were just like.
So did you hear what I said?
I did. No, because you were just like just frozen in time. Something to do with Han and Leia, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Luke.
Oh yeah, and Luke, where he stands on this matter.
I kind of went on a rant about Luke being self-centered. Did you hear any of that?
I did not, unfortunately.
No, I mean, yeah. Let me just go ahead and say it again. Luke is very self-centered. He's on this journey. He has to find Yoda. He's got to separate from the group. He's kind of going on to his own accord, and Han Solo is kind of trying to protect the group. I guess he doesn't need to. Princess Leia is a badass.
Yeah,
but I'm sure Luke wants to get back. I'm sure he wants to be involved still with Princess Leia. Maybe get her in the sack. Who knows?
Maybe. I can't wait till you find out one specific thing, but yeah, I don't think you find out until the next movie.
They're gonna get married and have kids, aren't they?
No, I'm not going to say anything about what happens.
Luke is gonna get in there, man, and whenever Luke gets in there, I think Han Solo is gonna leave the group. I think he's gonna watch them get married, and that's gonna be the end of it.
That's very possible, but we'll see what happens.
That's my prediction.
So Han meets up with Lando. Do you have any first impressions of this character, Lando?
Who?
Lando. You don't remember Lando? He had like the blue cape, black hair.
Who gets in touch with Lando?
Han Solo. Han Solo outmaneuvers the Imperial fleet once again, escapes them, and he ends up going to Bespin to take shelter with his friend Lando.
And didn't they kind of act like there was going to be a confrontation whenever they first saw each other, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that character's name is Lando. That's why I wanted to.
And that character's name is Lando. So I guess he did not stick out to you. He did not leave a good first impression.
It's the black guy, right?
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
So
I felt, because every time, here's the thing. I just feel like I didn't want to say that, because I wouldn't say, oh, he's the white guy in the movie. So I try not to say, oh, well, he's the black guy, because I felt like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
See, it sucks, because you could have just said it was the black guy, and
I could have, and that was the first thing that popped in my head, but I was not going to. In fact, I did not. You said that.
No, I thought it was a very entertaining way to introduce Lando. He seems like a pretty trustable character right out the gate, which we kind of see. We kind of get a demonstration of how the dark side can really bully these characters, into doing what they want them to do. He ends up doing the right thing later, but yeah. So what is the history between him and Han? Did Han used to live there or something?
Well, they go way back, and what's kind of cool about Han and Lando is that there's a movie about their backstory. It's called Solo. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I think I've seen Solo. Yeah,
You've seen Solo?
I've seen it in my travels.
Yeah. You've heard, you've seen it as I gotcha. So this movie actually talks about it's a young Han Solo and a young Lando, and tells the story about how they met up and that whole thing. So it's pretty cool actually. There's some people that really don't like that movie for one reason or another, but I thought it was good. And I actually saw it for the first time on a cruise ship. That's why I remember it so fondly. Is because I was sitting out on the deck watching this movie Solo, under the stars or whatever. So it was kind of cool.
Well,
kind of cool watching Star Wars under the stars.
Nice. Very classy. Lando, he also is the one did he make the Millennium Falcon, right?
I don't know if he made it, but he definitely was a part of its history in some way.
Well, that's why later on in the movie, he flies the Millennium Falcon because it used to be his ship.
Yeah, it did used to be his ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So he knows the gadgets. He knows how to fucking get the thing going.
Yeah, but you find out in a little while that they end up getting followed by a bounty hunter named Boba Fett.
Yes, the great Boba Fett. I think there's been like songs made about Boba Fett and stuff like that. So like I've heard about Boba Fett over the years. So yeah, and dude, Boba Fett looks like a badass.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what's cool about the Boba Fett character and why he drew so much like attention in these movies is that he's one of those characters that looks really cool and looks really badass and didn't like have a lot of lines to say or whatever. But it was because of that mystique that made him so interesting. Like, oh, I wonder what his backstory is. I wonder who he is. And they actually end up doing a TV show that just came out, I don't know, like a year ago, called The Book of Boba Fett. And it tells more of the story of Boba Fett and kind of ties into the Mandalorian show. So there's Boba Fett's a pretty cool character.
Yeah, and even Darth had to tell Boba Fett, he was like, hey, I need you to go find these people, but don't fucking kill them.
Oh, yeah. Darth Vader wants to be the one to do that.
He had to specifically tell Boba, though, don't kill them.
Well, because they're bounty hunters. They bring back people dead or alive. Mostly dead.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I thought that he was saying that to Boba Fett because he's just known because he's got a big fucking list of people he's gotten.
Oh, yeah. Well, he definitely has. But Boba Fett, like, he's the kind of guy, he's a mercenary. So you want to tell the guy, hey, when you catch these guys, bring them back alive, or else his instinct would just be to kill them on sight.
And Boba Fett, who's his wife? Can you tell me that?
I don't think Boba Fett has a wife. That is never explored in Star Wars lore.
I'm just, because you told me from the jump that, this isn't just a story about good versus evil. It's also like there's some romance that goes on. So I like to know who's Chewbacca with? Who's Boba Fett getting with?
With Chewbacca. Yeah, with Chewbacca.
Jesus God.
Yeah, Star Wars was real progressive back then.
Yeah, I guess that would have been the first gay couple in a movie, right?
You're close to it if it wasn't.
And to be fair, now correct me if I'm wrong, Chewbacca is male.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He's a he's a male.
He's like, you don't see
allegedly
swinging?
Oh, you see it. You see.
He doesn't wear pants.
That's in Spaceballs. It's a porn version of Star Wars.
I thought that was like a movie. I think John Candy's in that.
I think I'm getting the name wrong. Yeah, there is a name for the Star. They did like a Star Wars porn movie. Obviously, I've never seen it because I don't know the name. But yeah, I think Spaceballs. You're right. Is a different movie entirely.
Oh God,
my bad. So
let's get back on track.
Anyway, we are back with Luke. Luke sees Han and Leia being tortured in a vision from the Force. So when you saw this with Han and Leia being tortured, what were you thinking here?
It's kind of like a throwback to the last film because, he sensed that something was going on. He wants to fucking help. And Yoda is like, I wouldn't go yet. Like, maybe stay back here. Don't fucking, you need to complete your training. And
even Obi-Wan tries to discourage it.
Yeah. But you can't tell Luke anything. Is this a consistent thing with Luke?
Oh yeah, he's definitely, well, he's a young kid. You know, young kids always have a mind of their own and want to do their own thing. You know, it's just like, I'm sure, the wrestling business, when you give guys advice and you're just like, hey, you know, take it slow out there. Like, you know, don't try to get it all, you know, you know what I mean? Like, and they're just like, oh no, I want to do all my spots. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's
similar to
good
wrestling.
perspective. You know, I've been in the business 16 years. I'm trying to tell you how to fucking work, and then you watch their match, and they're still going bing bong, bing bong.
Oh yeah, fucking jumping off the top rope 10 times. And
so Luke Skywalker's like, hey, I'm starting to get the hang of this Force thing. I got my
yeah,
lightsaber. I'm
but
good.
if you're gonna train, yeah, but he's got these things. But you know, training to be a Jedi isn't something that it's not like a 3-day boot camp and you're done. You know, there's a lot more involved to being a Jedi. So do you think it's slightly irresponsible of Luke that he just wants to bail at this? No, he's not bailing. I mean, he is on Yoda at this point, but he's going to save his friends. It's a good reason, but he is kind of abandoning his training. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that he just has a lot of just natural talent. I think he has a lot of natural gifts in this universe. I think Luke Skywalker does. So it's kind of like, yeah, you should finish your training, but you're also so naturally gifted. And I think he feels it. Plus, Darth knows it. And they all are like, oh, the Force is strong with this one. They keep saying that. So it's like, you know, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, whenever he died, did he fucking transfer a lot of his, you know, Force to Luke?
Yeah, that's a tough call. I don't know if you can transfer Force. I don't know if it's like a credit card where you just, you know, put some money on there and it'll be like, here you go. I put some extra Force on the card for you. Like, I deposited some Force into your account.
That's how I took it. I took it whenever Ben Kenobi went down. I felt like his spirit kind of, you know, a little bit went over to Luke.
That's possible. Like, or at the very least, the motivation, and he gave him motivation and courage, if nothing else.
And I'm wondering if Darth, like, you know, since he's so powerful and he's been doing this a long time, I wonder if he saw some of the Force go to Luke and he's like, God damn it, Ben, that's my son. I should be doing that.
Yeah.
Why don't you let me raise my kid?
Why don't you? I'm sure there's definitely a part of that. Yeah.
Stepdaddy Ben. What now? Was Ben Kenobi? Was he was they trading off the Luke's mom, or do you think?
Whoa! Oh, no, there was none of that. Allegedly.
Who is Luke's mom?
We don't ever actually. Oh, sorry. We do know. Well, I know. I can't tell you though. Yeah, I can't tell you, but they do explore that in future movies.
I think, yeah, that's a lot of fans. I'm becoming a fan. I would, you know, we know who his daddy is, but who's the mama?
The prequel movies, I will say, it's not a spoiler to say this, but the prequel movies will eventually reveal the answer of who the mom is.
Now, I'm not going to lie. That would have been a nice thing to be like, oh, but now I see it coming.
No, that's not really a big deal. I mean, that's not really a spoiler. I haven't told you who. You won't know shit.
Right here.
If anything, it's something to look forward to.
Here's a curveball. I think that Princess Leia is his mother.
Princess Leia is Luke's mother?
Yeah, and they travel through space so much that time gets all fucked up, and she's actually, you know, there's like a time thing there.
Where they actually just are the same age at the end of the day.
Yeah,
or close to it.
Now, I'm not the fucking owner of Tesla. I don't know that much shit about, you know, I'm not Elon Musk. I don't know that much about time travel and all this space shit. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, I'll just say you are 100% right. That's exactly who his mom is. You nailed it.
Now I really want him to get with Princess Leia.
Yeah. Oh, man. I wish you knew one detail. You're going to find out the next movie. So anyway, enough about that. I don't want to get, because I want to give it away. Part of me just wants to just blurt it out, but I won't do that. So we get back to Han and Leia. Old Boba Fett, tracking Han, Leia, and Chewbacca, and finds them in Cloud City. And Vader ends up forcing Han's friend Lando to betray them, and then he captures Han and Chewbacca, which is pretty much what Luke saw in his vision.
And it's just so cool. They're all walking down the hallway, chit-chatting. It's a nice day, you know. It's nothing
Catching up with your old buddy Lando.
Yeah.
Hey, Lando, long time no see. How's the kids?
Yeah, doing some catch up. I mean, dude, whenever me and you talked after a long time, wasn't that nice to fucking
That was
catch
yeah.
up?
I was like, oh, you got a fiance? Cool. So do I. Oh, yeah, man, just camaraderie.
Yeah. And then I led you, and it's like if I led you into a room and like some fucking police officers were just standing in there. It's like,
and then
they
just
want
like,
to
why
talk
don't you take a seat? We have the chat logs right here.
Yeah,
I don't know why I gravitate to that, but that fucking Chris Hansen in that show, whenever he would say, well, take a seat. Why don't you take a seat?
Oh no, Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen. And whenever every single episode, he'd be like, I got the chat logs right here. Usually when he says he's got the chat logs, you're fucked. You're done.
Yeah. No, but that was a good scene though. The door opens up. Darth Vader is just chilling in this fucking conference room.
I bet Han Solo didn't see that coming.
No, it was shocking. I mean, and the first thing Han Solo does, which is another reason why he's one of my favorite characters, he don't think, he goes straight to action.
He starts shooting.
Boom.
Yeah. And what if he had just killed shot Darth Vader right in the skull, falls dead? Star Wars is over. He'd be a hero.
Being a big Han Solo fan, I'm already having some Han Solo tattoo artwork written up for me. I would have been a big fan.
That's really cool that you're such a big Han Solo fan. I think that's really cool, actually. And he is a cool character.
And I always thought oh my god, this happened to you on the last episode. What the fuck is the real actor's name?
Harrison Ford. I remember this time.
God, Harrison,
one of the most popular actors. Yeah, Harrison should be a last name.
So that's why I don't remember this dude's name.
Could you imagine Luke after his travels? He's coming from Dagobah. He leaves Obi-Wan and Yoda behind. Shows up and Vader's laying on the floor dead, and Han Solo's just sipping a beer. He's just like, "Oh, kid, you're late." And then Luke's like, "Oh, well, okay."
Well, and Princess Leia was there too, Chewbacca and all that.
Yeah. Oh, they'd probably be making out, smoking a cigar after having sex.
They didn't do shit.
No. This is all hypothetical, of course. That's not what happens. That's not at all what happens. Han and Chewie end up getting captured by Vader, and exactly like Luke thought. And at some point, we see Boba Fett there too, and Han is frozen in carbonite and placed in Boba Fett's hands for delivery to Jabba the Hutt because he owes Jabba some money.
Yeah, that's near the end. What a fucking wow, what a scene that was. And Princess Leia, she hasn't seen Luke in a hot minute. I feel like those feelings are sizzled. She spent a lot of time with Han Solo at this point, and she just goes, "I love you." And what does Han Solo say?
I know.
What a fucking asshole. Like,
it's actually cool. What's cool is my fiance, she bought me this picture frame, and we have a picture of us inside. And it's Han Solo on one side of it, like on the outer frame, the wood part. Han Solo, picture of him, Leia on the other side, and it says I love you and I know on both sides. And then there's a picture of us in the middle, which is kind of cool. So it's a nice picture frame. I like it. But yeah,
you think that she looks at you as kind of like the Han Solo she always wanted?
The Han Solo, I'm the Darth Vader she never wanted. Oh yeah.
You're just doing evil shit around the house all the time.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, bitch, make me a sandwich. No, I'm just kidding. I don't say that. I don't talk like that. But yeah, so it's the cockiness though, just this girl finally opening up. And Leia, she's a strong character. She's a tough gal. She's opening up and says, "I love you," and he's just like, "I know." Like,
that's just part of the reason why I think she likes him.
Yeah,
a lot of confidence in Han Solo.
Yeah, even as he's about to be frozen in carbonite. What was your thinking on this? You didn't know what was happening? You just see him getting lowered into this pit.
I was waiting for somebody to fucking save him. I mean, even
is that what you expected?
Well, yeah. I mean, and before that even happened, they took him into that room, I guess, for questioning and all that, but they didn't even question him. They just fucking tortured him.
Yeah. Well, torture first, ask questions later.
I mean, and he was really out of it. But yeah, definitely thought somebody was going to save him. Luke Skywalker, he was in the building at that point, wasn't he? He just wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah, he wasn't there at that time.
Wow.
Not yet.
And they did not know if it was going to kill him or not. And so, boom, they do it. And then what did they do? Check his pulse?
Did they while he was frozen?
Yeah, after they did it, there was some way that they could tell he was still alive, still in it.
Okay, yeah, I missed that detail in the movie then. I've never noticed that. That's crazy.
Well, that was like the big thing. Darth Vader was like, we're going to test it on Han Solo. If it kills him, we won't do it to Luke, kind of thing. But that's what they want to do. They want to
Jesus, I'm going to have to rewatch this scene. I've never caught on to this detail.
So that's what he was like, the test experiment right there. And
yeah, he's the guinea pig.
So Darth,
what would have happened if he dies? He's like, oh shit. Well, oh well.
I think that they definitely wanted to keep him, right? So it was like a gamble. Like
because they have to send him to Jabba, because I guess Jabba is owed some money, and Jabba is on the dark side as well. Not the dark side. He's not like a force. He's not a force character, but he's a bad guy.
Yeah, Jabba has said he wants him alive. Yeah.
So I mean, they gotta follow orders, so to speak.
But Darth Vader, he don't fucking answer to Jabba.
No. But I'm sure they got some type of a backdoor deal worked out or something. Jabba does him favors. Vader does Jabba some favors.
Yeah, maybe promises to do favors, then doesn't, but still asks for favors.
He's like, I got you next time. Yeah.
You said that last time.
Jabba's like, no. Yeah.
Hey, that's a good Java.
No, it's really not.
I keep saying Java. It's
Jabba. It's Jabba, but no, a better impression would be "Ooba doofaba." He's just like, that's not the exact language that he uses, but.
And your personal thoughts on Jabba?
Yeah, he's like my spirit animal.
Oh God,
no, I'm just kidding. No, Jabba is Jabba's cool. He's gross looking, but I've always liked Jabba. I liked the sound of his like voice and he doesn't speak English. You just see the subtitles or whatever he's saying. But I always just found him menacing and scary, and I always thought he was a cool character. Definitely gross, but scary.
Yeah, he definitely looks like an overcooked Hot Pocket for sure.
Oh, and that's Well, I mean, I could see how you got to that point.
But yeah. So boom, Darth Vader has realized that this deal is going to not kill Luke. So that's the next step, is to get Luke into this chamber.
Yeah, so Boba's in charge of Han at that point. And Lando decides he's actually had enough of betraying his friends. He's like, okay, I've had enough of betrayal for one day. I stabbed my buddy in the back, and maybe that's enough. Maybe once is enough. And he tells his security force to take back his city from the Imperial forces. So Lando having some second thoughts there. What do you think about old Lando coming to his senses?
Did he decide this after Han Solo got?
Yeah, after his buddy, he stabbed him in the back, put him in a tight situation, and he sees his buddy getting frozen carbonite. He's like, yeah, maybe this was a mistake. Like, don't you think you would have realized that right before at some point? Like, oh man, this is going way too far.
Well, and and Chewbacca did. He put up that big fight and all that, and that's when they handcuffed Chewbacca, and then he just has that moment of realizing that he wants to fucking fight back. So then he gets the cuffs off of Chewbacca. Chewbacca is about to kill this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and Wookiees are strong, like very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I learned from the first movie that Chewbacca has the strength to just pull your fucking arm out of the socket.
Oh yeah, that's their thing.
Having those big furry hands around your throat, you're probably having a conversation with God at that point.
Oh yeah, well, that's a signature move. Rip the arm off.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just compare everything to wrestling, but that's where my mind goes.
I like that about you.
I love that about you. Well, thank you, Travis. So Luke eventually does arrive on Cloud City and enters a duel with Darth Vader.
This being, knowing that they're going to make another movie, this being like a fucking, oh man, this was a hell of a fight. And what really shocked me, which, like I don't know if we've all, but I've definitely seen that scene where, Luke, I am your father. That's the only part I saw. I didn't know he cuts Luke's fucking arm off.
Yeah, his hand, I think, right?
Yeah, his hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So when that happened, that took you by surprise. Like, oh, well, that's not growing back. Like,
yeah, like in my head, Luke was winning the fight against Darth, and Darth said that to stop him from killing him or something like that. It's not really the case.
Yeah. So, yeah. Vader gave Luke a injury that he'll never soon forget.
Yeah. Yeah. And once he makes that realization that, this is my dad, fuck. He can't.
He was just like, no, that's impossible.
Yeah, he said it like a bitch. That's impossible.
He did really say it like a bit. I remember rewatching the scene and when I was watching the movie, and he does say it kind of like a bitch. But I think he's a kid pretty much. I mean, he's young. Like he's a teenager. Like, probably I don't know what age exactly. I don't know if he's like 18, 19 or 17 or 20. I don't know, but he's around that age. So he's immature.
Definitely making angsty fucking faces too. Like, no.
Well, Mark Hamill. Oh yeah, I mean, there's some things that could be said about Mark Hamill's acting at the time. Maybe it wasn't the best. It could have been, but no, he's iconic in his character.
So. He's definitely better in this movie than he was in the last one.
Yeah, he gets better with he gets better each time.
But after making that realization, Darth is like, "Hey, man, I'm your dad. Come to the dark side." And Luke is like,
"I'm your daddy, bitch." Die. Basically, yeah, he jumps off. So at this point, you're seeing this where you're just like shocked, like he did that, or did you know that Luke had a plan?
I was thinking, because they have that big wide shot of just Luke falling down a hole, and it's like
giant shaft, right?
It's like before he goes into that shaft, it's like, what is he going to land on? Is this suicide? What the fuck is he thinking? Does he have a plan? And I'm thinking, yeah. Well, it's Luke Skywalker. He's got a plan. But I think in Luke Skywalker's head, he was like, yeah, this is, fuck this. This is suicide. I'm definitely not going to go with this. I'm going to kill myself right now.
I've decided. Did you think during this duel that Darth Vader would meet his demise? Was there any part of you that thought this was going to be the end for Darth Vader or no?
A big part of me was hoping not. I want to see Darth standing on top of the mountain.
with Luke dead below his feet. I've conquered my son.
Holding his dead son's head at the end. That would have been a nice visual.
You want a fucking horror movie out of this.
Well, honestly,
I guess they did behead Darth Vader earlier in the movie, so that wouldn't be unheard of.
Yeah, maybe that was foreshadowing that Darth is gonna behead Luke. Yeah,
maybe.
Would have been nice.
We don't know.
And I know that I was talking to a couple of my friends about Halloween Ends. A lot of people are looking forward to that. The Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, that's a big deal. But another big deal in cinema is Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And I'm really hoping that Michael Myers fucking kills Laurie.
Dude, it needs to happen.
It's gotta.
It needs to happen. That's the only place they haven't taken this series, this franchise.
Well, to be fair,
did she die at one point in the earlier movies?
He killed Laurie in the beginning of Resurrection, but that's because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to do that fucking movie.
She was like, "Please kill me. These movies fucking suck now." But now they're good again.
They're great, yeah.
And there's some people who love all the movies, and that's fine. I like them all too in their own way.
The way that Star Wars has gone in multiple different directions with the prequels and all that, is there a lot of like old school Star Wars fans that like denounced Star Wars because of the way that they wrote the next parts of the story?
Not the original trilogy, but once they got to the prequel, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's people that watched the prequel that said this isn't Star Wars. Star Wars is ruined. They shit on it. It's just over. Fuck George Lucas. Fuck Lucasfilm. So like there's people who just and still today hate the prequels. And there's people that love them. I mean, that's like anything in the world. I mean, got people that love Marvel, people that hate Marvel. So Star Wars is no different. And then when they made the sequels, I would argue that the sequels that were made in like the 2010s, the newest movies, those are even more divisive than the prequels were because even more people just refuse to just refuse the story that was told. Because this was actually after Disney had bought the Star Wars franchise from George Lucas for, I don't know, however many billions of dollars it was. And they didn't like how Disney handled the characters and handled the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But there's also people that will swear by it and say, oh, the sequels were amazing. I mean, Glenn, for example, he loves The Last Jedi, which is an okay movie, but it disappointed a lot of people in some ways. So yeah, the prequels and the sequels definitely are a mixed bag, but I think it's fair to say that pretty much every Star Wars fan agrees that the originals are where it's at.
And you've heard my opinion on a lot of these characters, first thoughts and stuff like that. Do you think I'm going to like them?
I want to say that I hope so. I'll say for me, I love the prequels.
Okay. Yeah.
I grew up. I mean, that was my childhood. When I was a kid, those were out in the movie theaters. So I actually got to see those in theaters, and that was very fun. You get to see the backstory of a lot of characters from the original trilogy. And although there is definitely more corniness to some of it, some of the lines like from certain characters, and they're not the greatest movies ever made, but at the same time, I love them. I still consider them great Star Wars movies. The sequels are where it gets really weird. The first sequel was okay. The first sequel movie was really good. And then they kind of just went off the rails. And the third movie just was a fucking train wreck. I mean, it was a train wreck.
Okay, so is this kind of like the director, the writers and stuff like that? They want to fucking put their hands on.
Dude, exactly what you just fucking said was the problem with the sequel movies. Now, the prequels were all made by George Lucas, so at least they had one cohesive story and stayed true from all throughout all three prequel movies. The sequels, two different directors. One directed the first one and the third one, and then the second director directed the second movie that fell in between. And because of that, you had one director with one vision for the first movie of the sequel. Then the second director came in, had his own vision for the second movie, so he kind of changed the path completely. Then that first director who made that first movie came back for the third movie, tried to pick up with his own vision from the first movie, even though that didn't mesh at all with the second movie. And it was just a jumbled fucking mess. I mean, it was crazy. But even with that, I will say I enjoyed in their own ways all Star Wars movies. So,
well, George Lucas kind of seems like a two-faced bastard, and I'll tell you why.
Two-faced bastard.
I'll tell you why.
Here we go.
These movies are his babies. He did the prequels. They are his babies. He did it right. He kept the story nice and in line and all that.
And he had the idea for the prequels even back when he was doing the originals. He knew the stories that he wanted to tell. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. We all know he's a super nerd. Yeah, we know.
I guess.
Now, the way he fucking treated the first guy who played Darth Vader, that was bullshit.
Oh, you did watch some more.
Him out.
Dude, that dude was shafted. I mean, he was shafted. This guy probably was so pumped. He's like, dude, I have this. He was telling his friends and family, dude, there's this badass costume I'm wearing on set. And, I have these cool lines. And
he's like, they're actually going to use my voice and everything.
Use my voice. Yeah, that is his voice.
I was speaking in a helmet the whole time. And
I want the rebels alive.
Alive.
But George Lucas, on the other hand, was sitting here is like, this movie's gonna fucking suck. Like,
he's like, I fucking hit a home run on all the characters except for Darth. Fuck, what do I do?
Could you? And the thing with David Sprouse, I think his name is, they didn't even fucking tell. I think the story goes that they didn't even tell him, and he didn't find out until he started watching the movie and saw that was not, in fact, his voice at all. Yeah, and he was pretty shocked.
He's done a lot of Comic-Cons and stuff, and he doesn't mind talking about it. He's
dead. He's dead now, unfortunately.
Yeah, he is. But in some YouTube videos, he talks very candidly about it, and he's like, "Yeah, went to the premiere with my family, brought my best friend."
Could you imagine telling everybody, they're like, "Guys, I am the main villain," and they're just like, "I can't wait to see you, Daddy. It's gonna be so fun." I know, kids. I know.
He sat down the kids, and he's like, "Listen, we're gonna be set after this. Like, this is big. This is big for Dad."
He's like, they're talking about maybe doing a second and third movie. We are good. We are good. Darth Vader doesn't even die in this, so they're going to for sure bring me back.
I'm going to be known as one of the biggest villains like fucking ever.
And he was. Well, Darth Vader is, but not the first actor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's him it's him in the suit the whole time, but yeah.
Who did they have in the suit for Empire Strikes Back? Do you know? Probably
some stuntman. I don't know. For all we know, who knows? It definitely wasn't the guy who voiced him.
This is something for
James
you.
Earl Jones. Yeah.
This is something for you. The guy who played Darth Vader with the mask and all that. Obviously we know James Earl Jones did the voice, but it was actually Kane Hodder, the same one who played Jason.
That's not surprising, honestly, because he's a big motherfucker and Darth Vader needs to be big. So,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Little fun fact for everybody. Kane Hodder.
Dude, you are really diving down the rabbit holes of Star Wars. Like you're bringing in, I had little expectation of you actually watching and enjoying the movies just because I feel like somebody who hasn't watched them all this time, I don't know. I just had this vision that you wouldn't like them, but you're going down and doing some deep dive research on this shit. And I'm proud of you.
So do you believe that Kane Hodder was Darth Vader? Do you believe that?
Why did you lie to me? Is that why you said
yeah.
Fuck you. Dude, I keep thinking you're like bringing these inside scoops that I've never even heard of. I'm like, oh, well, you know Kane Hodder?
I feel like we would have all known that Kane Hodder he loves promoting himself. He would have told the world he was Darth Vader.
No. Well, dude, you had me. You had me. So I'll say fuck you for that. You had me. I hate you. I'm never going to believe a thing you say from now on. I'll be like, nope, don't believe that.
I can't tell you how many people who actually do tell me that in real life. They never know when I'm serious.
Yeah, well, you lost my trust forever, Travis. I'll never believe you again.
Hey, let's talk about the next scene, Mike.
All right, where are we? We they have the duel. Luke jumps to what seems like his death. Luke duels Vader. He's determined not to join the dark side. Vader pours on the hurt until Luke is backed into a hopeless corner. Oh, so Leia and Chewbacca fight their way to the landing platform in a race to stop Boba Fett because they're trying to still save Han Solo at this point, who's frozen in carbonite. And Boba Fett ends up escaping with Han's frozen but alive body. And but Leia and Chewbacca are too late. They can't save him. So all hope is lost for Han at this point.
Yeah, at this point, as somebody who's watched the movie for the first time, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, your favorite character. He's not looking good at the end of this movie.
Yeah, I guess that's how, obviously he's probably going to die in the next one because of...
And we never see Han Solo. That's the last time we see him.
It's the last time.
We're just left to guess whatever happens. We just don't know.
And I love to guess.
We may or may not see Han Solo in the next movie.
Well, he didn't die. They said that, he's still alive and all that. So it does leave a lot of speculation for me. But seeing Princess Leia and Chewbacca kind of come together, that was cool. Princess Leia kind of continuing this vibe of being a strong, independent woman.
Yeah. Which is very important.
The first one in cinema history, other than Dorothy.
Well,
from Wizard of Oz.
Other than Dorothy. Well, Dorothy was many, many years before the Star Wars movie. But I wouldn't say that she was the first strong character, but definitely Leia is one of them. She was no damsel in distress, that's for damn sure.
I watched a lot of Carrie Fisher interviews as well. Man, she's just an intelligent, well-spoken.
Oh yeah, she's a tough cookie.
Yeah, and you could tell she fucking loves being an actress. She puts a lot of her effort and time into it.
And she loved the Star Wars movies a lot. And you know she passed away, right?
Yeah, not long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah, I won't
Did
say
COVID get her?
No, it was before that. It was before COVID, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, actually, no, not I just believe. Yeah, it was actually long before COVID because she was in the middle of filming something for a new Star Wars movie, potentially, and or was about to start filming. I don't know, but died before that could start. So,
oh, that's such a shame because we know that. Well, I don't know if we all knew this, but the last movie. I'm sorry to keep talking about Halloween, but the last movie.
You really love Halloween.
I love it. The last movie that Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis was in Halloween, a beloved character in the Halloween franchise. He ended up dying before the film was done, edited and everything. So they had to rewrite the ending where, you can kind of assume that Dr. Loomis is finally killed by Michael Myers.
Yeah. How did they actually show something on screen to go with that as well? Like, I don't remember.
You just hear a scream from Dr. Loomis as if he was possibly attacked or.
Yeah. But they kind of left it open-ended, but you assume he died, maybe.
Yeah. A lot's left to your imagination, but they're pretty much saying he's dead.
And then they brought Dr. Loomis back from the dead for the new Halloween movie.
God, that was amazing.
Last year. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm literally going to be watching Halloween Ends as soon as this podcast is over.
Oh, really? Hey, let's take it home then.
Let's take it. Well, yeah, let's end this fucking thing. No, I do want to go back to Luke. We never really discussed what happened there. So he actually fell. He did not fall to his death. He gets sucked out by an exhaust vent, and he lands on a weather vane. And he calls first to Ben, and then to Leia with the Force. Leia orders Lando to turn the Falcon around, and they pick up Luke, and then they escape into hyperspace. So you see Luke being saved here. Was that the outcome you thought? What was just your overall perspective of what happened here?
Yeah, it was another display of the Force. It was
the Force really comes in handy in a sticky situation, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and you're becoming fans of the characters. If you like the movies, you're becoming fans of these guys. And that was like the big baby face moment where Luke is saved and they're all reunited.
So what do you think about so Leia actually is the one to hear Luke's message, and she gets Lando to turn around the Falcon. So what are your thoughts on that? That Leia might be Force sensitive? Because not everybody knows and can use the Force.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like Lando, Han Solo, they are not Force users. They are not Force sensitive, so they don't have the Force on their side.
So I guess that's why whenever Luke is like, "Fucking save me, Leia," she's like, "We gotta turn this motherfucker around."
Yeah,
Lando's like, "What?"
Lando was like, "No, we are out of here."
He's like, "We're not even fully out yet. Like that's fucking dangerous."
Yeah, but for some reason Luke was able to communicate with Leia, which kind of insinuates there that she's Force sensitive as well.
Well, I guess there's a reason why she's so like she just makes the right decisions, and whenever it's time to fucking fight, she's pretty decent.
And maybe we'll find out in future movies more about that.
I hope we do, Mike.
But the resolution here is that Luke ends up getting fitted with a cyborg hand, a robotic hand. So he's at least got some type of a hand back, although not a real one. And he and Leia ponder their fate and that of Han. So obviously Han isn't here. He's frozen in carbonite. Boba Fett has him at this point. Maybe he's already delivered a Jabba the Hutt. Who knows? But yeah, what did you think of this ending here? Did they tie a bow on it nicely for you? Like how?
Well, Yoda's one of the things I really paid a lot of attention to with the bow getting wrapped on the movie was that Yoda had said to Obi-Wan that there was some kind of discussion where they were like, "Oh, Luke's our last hope," and then one of them, maybe it was Yoda, he was like, "Well, he's not the last hope. We still
You remember that?
Yeah, there's still one, like maybe some other person out there.
There is one more.
Yeah." So that's interesting. Seeing them all kind of together at the end without Han just tells me in the next movie, they have, they're going to go rescue Han, obviously. Or B, Han is going to die a horrific death at the beginning of the movie.
Bullet to the skull.
Through the carbonite. The bullet travels through the carbonite. Yeah.
What do you think of that? That's a very important line, by the way. There is another. Do you think we'll see potentially who this other might be in the next movie?
God, I hope. That would have been a fucking wasted line, right?
Yeah, they just never come back to that again. It was like, it was just something we came up with on the spot.
At the end of the third movie, we'll see Luke laying in a pool of his own blood. Princess Leia's died. Han died at the beginning of the movie.
Jesus, Vader's just standing tall.
Well, Yoda's going to look over at Obi-Wan's ghost and be like, I thought there was another fucking person that could, like, why didn't they show up?
And then Roman Reigns comes up out of nowhere
with the Superman punch.
Yeah, exactly.
And they all acknowledge him.
Oh, I acknowledge the tribal chief every day. Every day I wake up, I acknowledge my tribal chief. But that's it. Yeah, that's it for Empire Strikes Back. You're definitely your favorite out of the two so far that you've seen?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I would give it 5 stars. I think Darth Vader had just with the story of Darth telling Luke that, he is the father, the fucking, yes, you have the Force, but the dark side could also very much so be with you, like joining me.
And now Luke knows this even more, that dark side is in him somewhere.
Yeah. And with the introduction of Yoda being the dipshit he is, but then I started to like
the dipshit he is. He really is a motherfucker for a bit.
I did start to like Yoda near the end, though. I would like to know everybody's thoughts on Darth Vader. Not Darth Vader, but Yoda. Please, by all means, if you follow us on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that, send us a message. Let me know what you thought about Yoda, your first impression.
Yeah, for sure. I have the similar impression as you, but I think Yoda gets better with each time we see him. I still think, though, how cool would it have been if Darth Vader extending his hand out and says, "Join me, and we can rule the galaxy as father and son."
Yeah.
Like, how cool would it have been if he was like, "Okay, father." He just extends his hand and then they join. Like, they join forces. They could have been the most unstoppable motherfuckers. They could have taken down Palpatine and just ruled the galaxy without him.
Well, maybe Luke could even be like, fuck, I should have stayed with Yoda to finish that training. I just got my fucking ass beat by Darth. I'm going to fool Darth, tell him I'm joining, and then double cross him later.
Well, maybe, yeah, like you said, if he had finished that training, he wouldn't have walked out without a hand.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you skip your training.
Yeah, no, you couldn't be more right. Yeah. Hopefully Luke, being the spontaneous guy he is, hopefully he gets fucked over more in the future if he doesn't do things
he gets fucked over more. Jesus. So you 5 stars, and that's a 5-star out of 5, right?
Yeah, I think.
What would you rate the first one?
Fuck it. 5 stars.
You're going 5 stars for both. Let's see where Return of the Jedi.
So far, the first movie laid the groundwork very nice. We got a really good understanding of the characters. And then this next one, Empire Strikes Back, we just get to dive deeper and deeper. And we get to see the characters grow. And we get to see relationships form. Hopefully, Luke Skywalker gets to take Princess Leia into a dark room at some point.
We can all hope. And then Luke comes in and he's like, I want some of that. It's not even his voice.
Yeah, because
it'd be more like his nerdy voice.
The picture perfect ending wouldn't be Han Solo and Princess Leia together. It just wouldn't. They're just polar opposites. The Princess Leia needs to go where, obviously, I think the whole fan base would agree that she needs to go with Luke Skywalker at the end of the day. They're carbon copies of each other. They're going to make cute babies one day.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they will.
The cutest.
The cutest. I can't say anything more about that because, yeah, spoiler alert.
As the story continues, I can't wait to see her leave Han Solo in the dust and just fucking go be with Luke, man. That's what I want to see.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
That's Luke's gonna be saying that a lot to her.
He's like, it's coming, Leia. It's coming.
Oh my god.
On that note, so when are we doing Return of the Jedi? Is that next week, or do we have something else lined up next week?
Well, we're gonna try to get a guest for the next episode next week. We will there will be an announcement on the social media. We'll see if we can kind of get
George Lucas himself will be on.
We'll give it a rest. There's Star Wars fans out there, and we are catering to you. This is something for the Star Wars fans. I have ended up liking the franchise a lot, and I'm going to keep watching the movies. If you'd like to hear what I kind of think about it, Mike grew up on them, so yeah, we will continue it. But
what would be cool though?
Yeah.
Do you know all about Star Wars Land at Disney World and Disneyland?
No.
There's a Star Wars Land. And dude, the rides, especially this one ride called Rise of the Resistance, is like the most. It's like as if you were on a real Star Wars ship. You have to see a YouTube video of this fucking thing. It's almost so good, it's hard to believe. After this, you should go look for a YouTube video. It's called Rise of the Resistance. It's a ride in Disney World.
Have you been on it?
Never been there. No. I want to go so bad. But the whole Star Wars Land is basically like being on a Star Wars planet, and they have a cantina there and all types of Star Wars type foods and drinks, and you can buy lightsabers, make your own lightsaber. And
is it in a controlled environment? Like, is there low gravity?
No, there is low gravity. Yeah, it's completely controlled. They figured it out, so don't worry. But they have a replica of the Millennium Falcon that you get to walk on, and you get to sit in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and actually drive it. That's the second ride, is you can drive the Millennium Falcon and do this like a mission, and you're either the pilot, you're a gunner, you're one of the technicians or whatever. There's like 4 different roles you could be on the ride. Super super cool, man. I mean, it's like the coolest thing. One day I would love to go down there and check it out.
The first field trip I ever remember in life, it was in like kindergarten. They took us to the fire station, and we got to go onto a fire truck and see all the gadgets and whatnot. It's just like that. It's just like the
Millennium
Falcon a fire truck?
It's, dare I say, cooler.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. It is cooler. I'm telling you guys, though, you got to take a look and let me know when you do.
Okay. No, I will definitely look into that. I'm not a big thrill park, amusement park kind of guy.
So you wouldn't want to ever go to something like that?
No, I'd love to. I just don't have really any experience in that.
Yeah. I don't go very much either, but that's definitely one of the ones I'd love to go to.
And guys, that is the review of Empire Strikes Back. We're going to make this a little bit shorter of an episode as what we usually do, so we can have time for the after show. Remember, guys, this is a live show. We do this show every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like to check out the Travis DuFour show live, then that is the way you can do it on YouTube, Facebook, also Twitch. So yeah. Mike, any final words?
No, man, it's fun going through these movies and hearing your thoughts for the first time, and me getting kind of to revisit them as well. I'm excited for you to get to the prequels eventually. Those will be fun to talk about, because you're either going to be the Star Wars fan that really likes it, or you're really going to be like, wow, man, they really shit on Star Wars here. Like, I don't know. So I don't know where you're going to fall, but it'll be fun. But as far as my socials, I'm pretty much only on Instagram, and you can follow me at FigFate, and do a lot of cool figure photography and things that I collect and stuff like that. So if you're into that, definitely give me a follow. I haven't posted any photos recently, but I'm definitely hoping to get back into that in the next couple months as I get my office set up more. So yeah, I would love a follow, and I'd appreciate it.
And until next time, may the force be with you.
Always. Daddy.
I really don't think I'm gonna watch any more Star Wars.
Star Wars is so stupid. Like, I'm tired of doing these fucking shows. I've never liked the franchise. The movies are stupid. It's just like these little geeky movies they made. I don't understand it.
Star Trek is a million times
Fuck
better.
yes, dude. Star
More
Trek is where it's
realistic.
at. Wait, we're fucking live, pal.
No, I thought you hit end broadcast.
Oh no, we're fucking shit.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Fuck.
I didn't mean any of that. Mike didn't mean any of that either. We're good. We're gonna watch it for sure.
Damn it.
That is old trademark Mike Yatsco.
Damn it.
Should we start doing prank calls, you think, on the Travis DuFour show?
Dude, fuck yeah, we should do. We should call back old Martin's Bakery. You remember when we would do that and order? Was it Martin's Bakery or what was it called?
It was Martin's.
Oh, that's what it was called? Okay. Yeah, we would order a fucking birthday cake and like give them some weird writing to put on it, and they'd realize it's a prank halfway through.
I would call as Hulk Hogan and I would tell them, put happy birthday, Andre.
Happy birthday, Andre.
And then at the bottom, put brother, dude. And the lady would write down the whole fucking thing.
There was a lot of cakes just sitting there waiting to be picked up at that Martin's Bakery that never got picked up.
It was. So I'm shooting to end everything at 9:00. So we got like 25 minutes to play around with. You want to talk about some wrestling or
yeah, wrestling is always fun. Yeah, so when we were left off kind of with our pre-show, we were talking about Paige and we had to kind of cut it off right there. So you think if she ends up wrestling, she'll be a great asset. Do you think she can still be an asset though if for some reason she doesn't wrestle very much?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Do you think that she's too rusty at this? She's been gone for pretty much, I don't know, how long has she been gone? 5+ years? More?
It has been a long time. See, one of the big things with AEW is that they are very match heavy. Like, hey, remember guys, Claudio's wrestling this guy on Rampage, wrestling. And whenever they do the backstage segments, I'm a fucking backstage segment kind of guy. I wish they would do more shit like that.
They really don't do anything backstage, like rarely.
One thing that, okay, I'm going to go ahead and air a big grievance right now. I know that you want to talk about Paige, but let me just talk about this real quick. MJF. He did a fucking promo Wednesday night. Did you see it?
This past, just like yesterday?
Yes.
I missed that one, no. And I usually watch all of his stuff, but the AEW YouTube hasn't posted it, or at least not earlier.
So right out the gate, they got the Alex guy in the back. He's about to do a microphone interview with MJF. And right out the gate, before MJF can say anything, there's like a manager guy, I guess, who's with MJF. I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's good. MJF has like some stable.
Right.
Yeah.
This manager guy interrupts MJF and just starts talking. And then MJF like jumps into the conversation after he gets done talking. He's like, you just interrupted me, and the next time you do something like that, you're going to be fired. And it was like a moment where MJF was like, he has to show his, he's like a piece of shit leader,
yeah.
He talks down to his guys. It's like kind of one of those situations. And so he puts the manager into his place. And then after he's done that, the manager like looks at the camera and gets this big smile. And like, after he just got fucking told off by MJF, the leader of their group, he like does one of these numbers. Like, yeah, anybody who sees this sees the video. He does one of these numbers. And then walks off, like smiles at the camera, shakes his head like, I can't believe MJF just said that to me, and walks off. And I was like, This is so fucking bad.
This is so bad. I'm gonna have to watch it.
He's lost his edge, like
because of this stable. Because he had his edge even just recently. That promo he cut with Moxley, that was good to me. That was solid for me.
I'll have to watch that.
That was the night after that backstage brawl drama, and they wanted to kind of wanted to reset the gears a little bit, so they sent MJF out and then Mox, and they kind of battled on the mic a little bit. I thought he was excellent there, but then like MJF got involved with the stable. I don't even know what the stable's called, but yeah, he has that manager dude also with him, and it kind of like watered him down right away just by doing that. It was just like, it's like AEW doesn't know how to carry any fucking momentum. Like they get this momentum with a guy, and then they're like, how can we like cool this off? Like, and like, remember back when he like called, like he was doing that shoot promo and calling Tony Khan a fucking mark on live TV, like, and then we didn't see him for 3 months. I have never been more interested in MJF than I was that night. I feel like you should just capitalize on that shit.
Yeah, and like, what was he doing while he was gone? Was he filming a movie? What
apparently he was just waiting for Daddy Khan to call him and pay him more money. Dude, I love watching his interviews with all these guys. Not Sam, Ariel. I think he did one with Ariel. No, not Ariel. He's done a few interviews lately, but MJF is just a fucking joy to watch on the mic in these interviews.
When are they not going to fuck something up? Like when are they going to hit a home run character, a home run feud?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. And there's some diehard, that's the problem. There's some diehard AEW fans that refuse to even acknowledge anything you just said. And I hate to say his name, but I'm going to say it. Glenn's a hardcore AEW fan, and he would back this up too. He knows, you know who you are. But some of these guys, they will not see any of the bad. And I don't hate AEW. I want AEW to thrive. I want AEW to be huge because that means, WWE has serious competition. It's good for the business, good for the fans. So I want AEW to fucking rock. I mean, I want, every Dynamite to be amazing. So when I say negative things, I'm not calling out these negative things because I'm shitting on AEW. I'm just noticing things that are clear as day to me and obviously clear as day to you, but not to these hardcore fans. They don't see it.
We're seeing like the second stage of a developmental company. AEW started as a developmental company.
But they were red hot then.
And we wonder why they're not red hot now. Because when you put guys who are learning the craft, and yeah, we got Chris Jericho. He's going to be fucking giving advice. We got all these guys. I just don't like watching a fucking developmental company, man. I didn't like NXT. I have always heard for a long time that OVW has a great TV show. They're fucking developmental. I'm sorry. I can't watch it.
Yeah. So you think some of the names they have should probably be on Dark or Dark Elevation, those shows.
Yeah. And okay. And another thing I was thinking about the other day, guys like Keith Lee, guys like
Andrade.
Let's just go with Keith Lee for a minute.
Okay.
This dude had so many fans on the internet saying, "Oh, Keith Lee, he could be the next big fucking thing." But you need to remember, whenever you're in WWE's developmental and learning how they shoot their program, learning what their wrestling style is, WWE has their own wrestling style. So whenever AEW started, I think that a lot of people are like, oh, this is kind of like WCW. It's going to be kind of like, yeah, I kind of want it to be WCW's wrestling style. It's like this. I don't even know what the fucking point I'm trying to make here. AEW put guys who are not seasoned in any sense of the word on their show week in, week out.
In prime spots.
Yeah. And it's just been fucking bad.
Sometimes in main events, there's been times where they've put guys that are And some people make the argument, well, if they don't get, these opportunities, they'll never get any better. And sure, I mean, there's an argument there, I guess, but the people who are in the main event should be the people who are drawing, in my opinion. And there's been times where AEW has put guys in the main event that have no business being on any main event. Like, it's crazy to me.
If I was booking AEW right out the gate, guys like Max Caster, all of these, like, Sonny Kiss, all of these people, I would have taken a little bit of my money from the $15 billion that I have, and I would have created the farm league. I would have found the city to have this farm league stay in, and these guys, they would have totally been on AEW by this point, but they wouldn't have been a part of it from the jump. The AEW roster would have been literally all New Japan guys like Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and former WWE guys like Shawn Spears, and these guys who have been doing it for fucking ever.
Moxley, even though you don't like him, but
yeah, like Darby Allin, he would have been in that goddamn farm league for at least a year.
Actually, I think Darby Allin is one of those guys that I have gravitated a lot towards. Like, I like there's a few guys like Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and MJF. I felt like they're standout young people. In my
I would have put Jungle Boy, MJF, and Darby in that farm league for a year.
I'll say that, yeah, in the beginning, MJF, even now, I mean, he's not like he's a, completely polished now, but especially in the beginning, you could tell that he was still, would you say green would be the term you'd use, or, definitely new to everything.
Yeah.
Seemed inexperienced with that kind of television, And of course they were. I mean, that was their first big television deal for those guys.
So why not take all these established guys, good workers, put them on your TV and everything, and let's go ahead and start airing vignettes for Darby Allin 3 months in advance.
Dude, that's what I love about WWE. Like all the guys they used to have those vignettes for. Like, that's how you get people hyped up about a character they have no clue who they are, but through those you learn a little bit and you get people excited. That's what's missing.
So yeah, look, right out the gate, let's go ahead and fucking put Orange Cassidy on your TV. He's got his hands in his pockets. He's real cool. A lot of old school fans, I'll say I was one of them. I was like, fuck this. But then over time, you see Orange Cassidy, you kind of figure out the shtick, and then you see him actually pull off some cool spots, got his hands in his pockets while he's still running from the ropes and stuff, doing all these spots. Like, and that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
The first time you see it.
He just won the title on Wednesday, yesterday.
Which title?
He won the AEW Mid-Atlantic title, I think it's called. There's a lot of titles in AEW now. There's the Mid-Atlantic. There's the AEW Championship. There's the TBS Championship. There's the TNT Championship. There's the Women's Championship, the Tag Team Championships, the Trios Championships. And there's still more. There's the ROH Championship. The ROH, there's like a TV championship for ROH. There's the FTW Championship. I mean, dude, I don't even think I've named them all. I think there's even more.
And in 1 week, how many hours of national TV time do they have? 3 hours, correct?
Yeah, it's 3.
Jesus Christ.
And that many I don't even think I named all the belts. That's the thing. But even just AEW's core belts, it felt like that's crazy to think about all those different titles. And I think Wardlow is one of the champions right now. And you don't even see him on TV. They get these guys built up slightly where there's a little bit of people are actually getting behind them, cheering them, whatever, and there's some excitement. And then they just let them fizzle out. It's like they don't know what to do after that point.
Dare I say, Wardlow could have been AEW champion by today. If
he was their Batista. That's how I saw him. But it's like they're afraid to pull the trigger because, no, since day one we had the vision of putting the title on, on Page, and we got to stick with that. No, that's when you fucking pivot and you go with what the crowd is saying that they want. The crowd is telling you who they're cheering for. You can tell by how loud people are. I
wish we had Glenn on the show right now because I'll ask you. have you seen the clip of why CM Punk had some shit to say to Hangman about Hangman talking about the old school guys, saying, he's like, I don't take advice. I don't take advice because I feel like pro wrestling, you have to take it. You have to do this yourself.
I saw that, and if I was a veteran in wrestling, or really it doesn't have to be wrestling, any industry. If you hear a fucking young kid in an industry that you've been working at for couple decades at this point, and you're a professional, you're a veteran in your industry, and then you hear some kid come along saying, well, I don't take advice, I don't need advice. I'll be like, dude, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, honestly, you haven't paid any of your fucking dues. Who are you? Nobody knows your name. You're a nobody. And I'm not saying some people know Adam Page's name, but in general, compared to guys like CM Punk, Jericho, a nobody.
And you wonder why CM Punk called you a big-headed fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, if you heard that in a locker room from a young guy just joining, because CPW, is that the company that you were heavily involved with?
Yeah. So today, WDWA.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say that you were there and you just heard some young kid who just started wrestling, finally got some training, and he's going to do his first match. You just hear him spewing off that kind of shit. Would you just look at him and just like, what the fuck? What's he like? Isn't that dumb?
People like that, they're gone in 3 months or less.
Yeah,
and I have seen that at the promotion that I am at every month, and like I said, they're gone 3 months.
How do you even take someone like that serious?
I don't even talk to them
because that's basically them saying, I know everything there is to know. I don't need to learn anything new. Once you've closed your mind off to learning something new, you've fucked yourself.
And 9 times out of 10, I'll hear them say that, and they'll still approach me after their match. Be like, Travis, you're on commentary. Did you see my match? Like, what'd you think? I'll tell them every single time. It was great. I thought it was great.
It was great. Just tell them what they want to hear.
And they'll be like, oh, what'd you think about this part? I'll be like, everything, the whole time. I'm not going to break down your fucking match with you right now. You're disrespectful. You're not even going to really take anything I'm saying. So it was great. It was all great.
I just know, even as a designer, like in my field, like I've been doing this for 12, 13 years. If like a young designer was just like, oh, I know everything I need to know, I don't need any advice, I'd just be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you fucking doing? Like when I was just getting started in my industry, I didn't know shit, and I was willing to take advice from anyone who was offering it to me. Like I was like a sponge. Give me information and I'll suck it right up. Like I'll learn from anybody. And maybe there's some information someone gives, like, nah, maybe that doesn't apply to me, but you be respectful, and maybe you could take some part of it though and use it. So like, but to say that you just don't take advice, like he dug his own grave with that one.
And it's weird because if you love something, which pro wrestling, I have to think that there's a lot of people in pro wrestling that don't love the shit. If you love something, wouldn't you be more open to being like, yeah, let's talk about that. Maybe I could do it this way. Maybe I could try this. It's fun. Like, absolutely. Why isn't this fucking fun to you?
So I can see why Punk got upset and kind of spewed off a little bit. And I just loved it he did it multiple times during the media scrum when he was just like that empty-headed dumb fuck or whatever he said. Like he was just, to me, that's fucking hilarious. And in my opinion, deserved. I mean, if you're going to say dumb shit like that, you got to deserve it.
Yeah. I think that they completely fumbled the ball too. Cause I rewatched the scrum a couple times, and I've actually watched people reviewing it too. Just like YouTubers.
It's interesting.
The YouTubers that only have like 400 views on their video, I'll watch that because I'll be like, okay, right here's a genuine thought about that whole thing. And yeah, I don't understand why AEW brought in Punk. He brought in their first $1 million gate and did all this good business for them. Why are you politicking against him?
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Why is the office attacking?
That's good for everyone.
God,
like that, who gives a fuck who brought in most of the people? I mean, CM Punk sold out that building on a rumor that he was coming back. Just on there was no confirmation. He might have not even shown up that night. Just the rumor of him possibly being there.
Wild.
I mean, that's impressive. Like, and yeah, the injuries did set him back though. That was unfortunate when he won the title the first and second time getting injured. I think it was more a blessing in disguise getting injured this time, especially after the drama, because after that backstage brawl, at least, because at least maybe with some time, things can cool down. He can come back, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's done. I hope not.
Name one former WWE or current WWE star that could go to AEW and genuinely move the needle, but you can't say Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar
or John Cena, even though he's not really a regular part of the roster.
You can say Cena.
Yeah, but so it also has to be realistic because John Cena would never join AEW.
Crazy, man. Crazy things happen in this
I mean,
world.
if Tony Khan opened up the wall and he's like, bro, I'm going to give you 20 mil. Come on. It's
the
water's great over here. Give it a try.
$2 million per appearance, $20 million per match.
He's like, deal. Deal. And I can't say Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, because just in my head, those are the two biggest stars in wrestling.
I felt honestly, and I could be wrong, and I think you might have a different opinion because I don't think you like this guy as much as me. I really thought especially when the rumor was strong of him coming to AEW, I thought Bray Wyatt could have been that. I really thought that. I thought that would have been a big deal. But then again, AEW would have dropped the ball. They would have done some dumb fucking entrance of him, Bray Wyatt, coming in as the best friend of someone, and then they'd fuck it up and he'd sizzle out. But I'm saying it would be cool. I take that back. They're actually really good with debuts. They are solid.
Oh, yeah.
They have nailed that formula to a T. They can debut someone, make it the biggest fucking thing, make everyone feel awesome about it. It's everything after that they're not good at.
Who do you think was the first big debut for AEW? Moxley?
For sure, Moxley. But do you want to know the one that like really made me mark out? It was Sting, believe it or not. I was so pumped to see Sting.
Pandemic Sting, huh?
Pandemic Sting. Well, just like the winter is coming and the snow and stuff like that. I just thought it was cool. Mox was definitely a big deal, though. And Punk blew the fucking roof off the place.
Yeah, they have had a lot of big debuts. I think that somebody who could be a big needle mover, Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I forgot about him because he's injured and potentially with a serious injury.
Oh, really?
Now. Yeah, I guess he's had some serious back issues. And it's unclear when or if he can return.
Oh, God. We're about to lose Orton?
I hope not. I hope there's no truth. I mean, but that's what the rumor is that the back issue is pretty serious and no timetable for a return.
We're getting Edge and we're losing Orton? Fuck.
Well, we won't have Edge. I think Edge said he's only going to do like another year.
Good.
Fuck
out of here.
You just don't like him? You don't think he's been good at all?
Never been an Edge guy. I liked Edge one time, and that's whenever he was the tag champion with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. What a cool thing to say that you were the tag champion with Hulk Hogan. I liked him during the Rated R Superstar days with him and Lita and the live sex celebration. Like, I was all about Edge back then. I thought he was cool.
Even then, didn't like it. I liked that Cena had somebody to work with, but
yeah.
There was another Edge moment I liked. Oh, whenever ECW was having their one night stands and all that, I guess Edge was one of like the main like WWE guys that invaded the thing and was like, this shit's fucking stupid. ECW sucked.
I remember like, JBL was also like that too. JBL making fun of ECW guys.
I like that, but that's about it.
Yeah. As far as AEW goes, though, do you think Tony Khan? He's a new booker. Like he wasn't in the wrestling business. He was just a fan. Do you think he has the potential to turn this into like a big company or like, I mean, AEW is a big company money wise, but like, can it ever be serious competition for WWE or is it just going to be where it's at until it eventually fizzles out?
At this rate, it'll be where it's at until it eventually fizzles out. Okay. Last 3 minutes. What do you think would be the kiss of death for AEW if Kenny Omega and the fucking Bucks went to WWE?
Oh my God, that would be. And MJF. I mean, if MJF, I mean, I feel like it's one serious contract offer away from MJF being peace. Because MJF knows
So
he
you
can
think
make
that's
money
a shoot?
anywhere. I honestly believe, yeah. I think he knows he's good, and I think he knows that he can make money wherever he goes.
He needs to get in fucking shape, though, man.
Hasn't he been recently?
AEW, that's fine if you look like that. But WWE, you because you're going to be a manager before you know it.
That's true. That's true. You gotta get some size on you. But
Triple H will be like, I hate to pull a Vince on you, but you're going to have to start managing Lashley.
I hate to pull a Vince. I think the kiss of death. Yeah, I mean, losing Kenny and the Bucks would be. I mean, that would be pretty bad for them. That'd be pretty bad. I don't think losing Jericho would be too bad, honestly.
Losing Cody was in my head, a big deal.
A huge deal. And there's people who just absolutely say, he wasn't really, he didn't want to be there anyway, like, and justifying it, like, he wasn't really, yeah. I'm just like, no. Cody was a huge deal. That was shocking. And not only that, Cody wasn't just a wrestler. The fact that an EVP doesn't want to be in your company anymore, that says a lot.
And then Cody takes a bunch of shots on you afterwards. He's like, Tony pretty much bankrolled my whole idea. Like, my movement.
My movement. I can't wait until somebody writes a book on why he ended up leaving.
Oh, man.
One day, that'll be an interesting story to tell. I don't think the story's allowed to be told right now because they signed NDAs. But I hope one day someone's allowed to tell that story.
In my perfect world, Cody Rhodes would be the WWE champion and Brandy Rhodes would be the women's champion.
You actually like Brandy? I think she's kind of like trash. Okay, good. I'm not a nice person, I'm sure. I'm not saying, but as a wrestler, no.
You should listen to her new podcast.
No, I'll pass. I do listen to Kevin Nash's podcast, though. His is actually really good.
So good.
Yeah. I like his. I actually like listening to Conan's podcast. I fucking hate Disco. I hate Disco, even his voice, just nails on chalkboard. But I like Conan.
Is it Conan and Disco and that's it?
It's Conan and Disco and some English guy. Like, I don't know his name. He must be a wrestler.
Okay. Probably Fit Finley. But
I don't think okay.
Probably right here though, dude, you would be surprised. Right here is the hidden gem of wrestling podcast, Renee Dupree.
No, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. His are
good.
Yeah, very good. He's had some very good episodes.
And Paul London. God, everybody needs to listen to Paul London on that show.
Yeah, he's on quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they reveal a lot of juicy stories on that podcast.
Okay, guys, that is it for the after show. Thanks again to Darth Vader and Darth Maul for joining us today.
Yeah, it's always fun chatting wrestling with you. I gotta say, because I don't have.
Do you know those people?
I thought no, I don't know those people. I assumed at one point maybe Glenn messing around, but I don't know. Like I honestly don't know.
For anybody who
it could have been anybody. I mean, somebody just stumbled on. Who knows? But yeah, always fun chatting wrestling because the thing is, my fiance is not into wrestling at all, and pretty much no one besides you and Glenn like wrestling. And Glenn and I don't see eye to eye on wrestling a lot because he's really into like pretty much everything AEW does, and I'm not, so we don't have a lot in common there. And I'm always busting his balls about it. But so it's nice to talk about wrestling
and I don't care who you are. If you're a big fan of something, like people who love the NFL, they'll be like, "Oh, fucking, it's trading season. Like, fucking, they should do this trade." If you're a big fan of pro wrestling, you like the armchair book, and that's what me and Mike like to do.
Oh yeah, and talk shit on what everybody's doing wrong.
Yeah, Brandy Rhodes can eat shit.
But my prediction though, real quick before we end this. I think Cody Rhodes, if he's healthy enough, I don't know if he'll be able to return, like physically. If he's healthy enough, returns at the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, challenges Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, wins the title. That's how it should go.
Who's the final two in the Rumble? Cody and who?
Cody and
Bray.
Could do Cody and Bray. Could do Cody and Seth, since there's history there now. Cody and Seth Rollins. You don't like Seth Rollins?
No, I love Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Oh, Cody and
maybe somebody new, somebody like a new face, not like a new face, but somebody you wouldn't expect to be the final two.
Matt Riddle.
That would be good. Matt Riddle and Cody.
You a Matt Riddle guy?
I do like Matt Riddle.
Fuck Matt Riddle.
Dude, I think I dig him. I really hated him in the beginning. I thought like the whole stoner thing was stupid, but I kind of like it now.
I just wish he was a better performer. I don't like him.
I got you. To each their own. To each their own.
Cutting promos matters. That's all I'm saying.
Cutting promo. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, his delivery isn't all the way there.
Seth is like, that's why your family didn't want to be around you, you bitch ass. And he's like, what'd you say?
I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker. Triple H is like, whoa, Lionel, holy cow, Lionel. Well, that's what happens. You give them a little rope and then they show their true colors.
Each and every time.
Each and every time.
All right, guys, that is the episode for today. Thanks again. Please follow us at the DuFour brand anywhere and everywhere. Peace.
Peace and love.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'll just hang up on myself. Goodbye.
That's the end.